Are you feeling lost and unsure if there's any chance of getting back together with your ex? I understand that feeling, the anxiety, the longing, and the constant wondering if your efforts will pay off. You want to do everything right, but at the same time, you're afraid that every wrong move, every wrong word could push them further away. It's a difficult and uncertain time, but you're not alone. Many people have been where you are now, a place where your heart and mind are constantly at odds. You want to believe there's hope, but you also need to know you're on the right track. So, how do you recognize the signs that your ex is thinking about coming back? How do you know that you still have a chance to rebuild the relationship you cherish most? In this video, we'll explore the positive signs that your ex might be considering a reunion. This is not only a way for you to gain a clearer understanding of the situation, but also a guide to help you avoid unnecessary mistakes and focus on what truly works. But first, remember that positive change starts with you, from knowing your worth and being patient with the process. Let's begin this journey of discovery now. Sign 1. Your ex is confused. The seed of regret. One of the clearest signs that your ex might be thinking about coming back is when they feel confused. This confusion is not just a vague state of mind. It stems from a deep inner conflict about the decision to leave you. When you start to change in a positive way, it often shakes their confidence in their initial decision that breaking up with you was the right thing to do. Your ex will start to question not only you, but also themselves. Why is he changing now? What made him act differently? Was I wrong not to be more patient? These questions not only confuse them, but also create a sense of insecurity. This is the stage where they will approach you with questions, sometimes very specific. Where were you yesterday? Why did you do this? Why didn't you change before? These questions are not simply to find out information, but a way for them to re-examine what they have lost and measure the change in you. Confusion is often the first signal that your ex is paying attention to you. They begin to compare the current you with the person they knew in the past. They notice that you are no longer the same, perhaps more confident, more independent, or seemingly less attached to the relationship. This change makes them uneasy because deep down they are not ready for you to completely escape their emotional orbit. Moreover, when your ex feels confused, it is also a sign that they are spending more time thinking about you. They are no longer indifferent or apathetic, but instead curious and even worried. Questions like, what really happened? Was I too hasty in deciding to break up? Begin to creep into their minds. This shows that you have started to make a certain impact, albeit indirectly. Your ex's confusion is the first sign, but also one of the most important signs that you are on the right track. Don't rush to explain or convince them. Instead, continue to focus on your personal journey. Become someone you are proud of and let your natural changes speak for themselves. Remember, the goal is not just to get back together, but to build a stronger and healthier relationship. If their confusion transforms into interest and eventually a desire to reconnect, you will know that your journey has yielded worthwhile results. Sign 2. Anger. The gateway to true emotions. Your ex's anger, while seemingly negative, is actually a very good and encouraging sign. It shows that there is still a strong emotional connection between you and them. Anger doesn't arise from indifference. It stems from confusion, disappointment, or even a sense of loss. This proves that they still care about you, an important factor in potentially salvaging the relationship. When your ex is angry, it may be because they feel that you have changed but didn't change sooner. They wonder, why is he only showing these things now? If this had happened earlier, things might have been different. This anger is actually a reaction to their feelings of regret and inner conflict. They may not admit it, but it shows that you are gradually changing how they perceive you and the breakup decision. They may also be angry because of a thought that hurts their ego. Is he living well without me? Does he even seem happier? This gives rise to jealousy and fear that you have truly moved on. This feeling is a sign that your attractiveness, both physical and mental, still exists in their eyes. Yes, anger can be a precursor to rekindling love. There is only a thin line between anger and love. When they are angry, they are expressing their emotions strongly, and that shows that you still mean something to them. Someone who doesn't care wouldn't be angry, they would be indifferent. But if your ex reacts strongly to your changes, it proves that you still have influence over their emotions. However, to turn anger into love, you need to know how to communicate skillfully. This is not the time to argue or try to prove yourself right. Instead, listen to their feelings. Express sincerity in your change and demonstrate that you have become a better version, not for them, but for yourself. When they realize that you are no longer driven by clinging emotions or neediness, they will gradually be attracted to your self-control and confidence. Their anger may also be related to the attraction you create, feelings of jealousy or worry that you might find someone better often accompany anger. When they see you become more attractive, more confident, or achieve things you haven't done before, it increases their feelings of insecurity. The remarkable thing is that this insecurity often leads them to start wondering if they are losing something important. Moreover, attraction is not just about appearance, but also about the positive change in your spirit and attitude towards life. A confident person who values themselves and is constantly developing will create an irresistible attraction. When they notice this, they can't stop thinking about you, no matter how hard they try. Faced with anger from your ex, you need to maintain a calm and mature attitude. Don't respond to their anger with negative emotions, but see it as an opportunity to rebuild the emotional bridge. Instead of arguing, show that you understand their feelings and are willing to listen without judgment. Let them see that you have not only changed your behavior, but also matured in the way you handle emotions and communicate. Most importantly, continue to maintain your self-development. Don't let their anger pull you back into a state of emotional dependence. Instead, let them discover for themselves that their anger is just part of the process of realizing the value you bring. When your ex is angry, it's a good sign that their feelings for you are still alive. This shows that they still care, are still affected by you, and may be experiencing inner conflict about the breakup decision. By handling this anger skillfully and continuing to assert your self-worth, you not only have a chance to save the relationship, but also lay the foundation for a stronger connection in the future. Sign 3, when your ex stalks you on social media. One of the subtle but very important signs that your ex still cares about you is when they silently stalk you on social media. This can make you confused, anxious, or even hopeful, but it's actually a very noteworthy signal if you know how to handle it correctly. When your ex views your posts or stories, it is not just a passing curiosity, it's their way of maintaining a mental connection with you without direct communication. They want to know what you're doing, how you're feeling, and most importantly, whether you're moving forward without them. Actions like changing your profile picture, posting happy pictures, or deliberately sharing interesting activities can be psychological tactics to test you. They want to evoke emotions, make you wonder if they have moved on from the relationship. However, the truth is that if they no longer care about you, they wouldn't spend time stalking your social media. This proves that in their mind, you still hold an important place. They may want to check how you have changed or even hope to find clues that you are still thinking about them. But behind it all, they are torn between moving on or coming back to you. So what should you do when you see your ex stalking you on social media? First and foremost, stay calm and don't react immediately. Avoid constantly checking their account or spending too much time speculating about the meaning behind their actions. If you get caught up in this psychological game, you will lose control of your emotions, which can lead you to act hastily and make mistakes. Instead, take this opportunity to prove that you have changed and are living a fulfilling life. Use social media as a tool to subtly convey your positive change. Post moments of you engaging in new activities, achieving personal milestones, or expressing passions you once neglected. Let your social media become a manifestation that you are not only moving forward, but also enjoying life in the best way possible. However, you need to remember that this is not the time to show off or be fake. Everything you share needs to be authentic and reflect who you truly are. Sincerity and naturalness are the factors that create lasting attraction. When you maintain self-control and don't get caught up in immediate emotions, your ex will begin to feel inner conflict. They will wonder, why doesn't he pay attention to me anymore? What has changed? Your silence, combined with positive signs of personal growth, will make them realize that you no longer depend on them to define your worth. However, you need to be careful to avoid common mistakes, such as sending cryptic messages or deliberately provoking their emotions. This only damages your image and makes them feel that you are trying to manipulate them. Remember, your goal is not to prove anything to them, but to be proud of who you are. The truth is, when your ex continues to stalk you, it's not only a sign that they still care, but also an opportunity for you to reaffirm your value. Don't try to force them back. Instead, let them realize for themselves that they have lost someone worthy. Sign 4. When your ex wants to see you and communicate constantly. One of the clearest and most positive signs that your ex might be considering getting back together is when they seek regular communication and want to see you. Those messages, calls, or even offers to meet up are not just mere social gestures. Behind these actions lies a deeper desire. They are seeking to re-establish the connection, attraction, and rapport that you both once had. When your ex says they want to be friends, you may feel confused or even hurt. You wonder, how can they just want to be friends after everything we've been through? But in reality, this desire to maintain a friendship can be a way for them to approach you without having to admit that they still have feelings. This is an important signal that they don't want to lose you completely and that they still need you in their life. They are looking for connection, but they may not know how to express it clearly. They say you and them are just friends, but sometimes these words don't reflect the truth. Your ex may not see the value of attraction in the previous relationship. They think that the relationship has lost its initial spark, and they haven't realized that attraction can be recreated. This is very similar to the early stages when you start a new relationship. Both of you try to attract each other, build expectations, and create a sense of mystery and excitement. This is exactly what you need to rebuild now. Instead of focusing on how to make your ex love you again, you should focus on rekindling the feeling of attraction. Don't talk about what happened, about past mistakes, or commitments. Instead, make every conversation and every encounter fresh, interesting, and exciting. When you appear with a positive, confident, and comfortable attitude, you will make them wonder, how has this person changed so much that they make me feel like when we first fell in love? If your ex wants to see you regularly, wants to talk to you, and maintains consistent communication, it's a sign they are looking for a sense of connection. They may not be sure about getting back together, but your presence is creating an irresistible attraction. This shows that you still have special value in their eyes, a value they haven't found in anyone else. However, you also need to realize that they are testing their feelings. When they say they just want to be friends, it's their way of keeping a safe emotional distance. But if you know how to turn each interaction into an opportunity to create attraction, you can gradually change their perspective. The key to overcoming the situation is to arouse curiosity and a sense of attraction in the relationship. Don't rush things or try to rescue the relationship immediately. Instead, create a new image of yourself in their eyes, someone who is attractive, confident, and irresistible. When you show that you are not just a friend, but also an ideal companion, they will begin to realize that you deserve more. Remember, when your ex constantly wants to see you, it's not just about communication. It's an affirmation that they still care about you, that they haven't really left the relationship. This means you have the opportunity to rebuild attraction, create a stronger sense of connection, and open a new chapter for the relationship. Don't waste this opportunity by focusing only on past mistakes or promises for the future. Live in the present, enjoy every moment with them, and make each encounter memorable. So, sign number 4, when your ex wants to communicate regularly and see you, is not just an opportunity, but an invitation to rebuild the relationship on a stronger, more attractive, and more hopeful foundation. Sign 5, the offer of friendship. One of the clearest signs that your ex is considering getting back together is when they offer to be friends. At first glance, this offer may seem like a way to maintain friendliness after a breakup, but in reality, it reflects a deep struggle in their psychology. This is not simply a desire to keep you close, but also a way for them to explore their emotions and gauge your reaction. They are not ready to admit that they want to get back together, but they also don't want to lose you completely. This conflict leads them to choose a half-hearted approach, maintaining contact under the guise of friendship while leaving open the possibility of reconciliation. In the first few weeks after a breakup, your ex may feel relieved by their decision, thinking they have escaped the stresses of the relationship. However, as time passes and the distance between you grows, they begin to feel your absence more acutely. Things that were once habits, like intimate conversations, your attention, or simply your presence, now become voids that are difficult to fill. The offer of friendship appears when they begin to wonder if their decision was truly the right one. However, instead of confronting their emotions directly, they choose a safer approach, both to test your feelings and to avoid admitting their mistake. Their actions during this phase are usually quite clear. They may frequently text you to check in, suggest meeting up, or even bring up old memories to evoke emotions in you. They will show more concern than necessary, such as asking in detail about your personal life or showing jealousy if they know you are seeing someone new. These actions are not just instinctive, but also stem from anxiety and fear that you are truly moving on from their life. Your ex's psychology during this phase is full of contradictions. They are torn between regret for losing you and hesitation to admit their mistake. They don't want to accept that the breakup was the wrong decision because that would mean they hurt you and themselves. But at the same time, they also don't want to let you go completely because you are still an important person in their life. This struggle leads them to choose a half-hearted approach, keeping you within reach while leaving open the possibility of getting back together. In these situations, it's important that you don't fall into the friendship trap they create. If you accept this offer unconditionally, you may get stuck in an ambiguous relationship, diminishing your value in their eyes. Instead, stand your ground and show that you are independent, confident, and not dependent on the old relationship to feel happy. Maintain a neutral but attractive attitude. Be polite but not overly enthusiastic. Let them realize that if they want to get back together, they need to be serious and sincere instead of making half-hearted offers. At the same time, you need to focus on yourself, on personal development, and building a new life. When they realize that you are moving on and no longer bound by the past, they will begin to feel insecure and yearn to regain connection with you. The offer of friendship, in fact, is not just their way of maintaining contact, but also a signal that they are facing complex emotions about their decision. If handled correctly, this can be an opportunity for you to reestablish power in the relationship, forcing them to reevaluate your worth and put in more effort to prove they deserve you. This is the time to show them that you are not easily replaceable, and that if they want to come back, they need to show real commitment and sincerity. The journey to win back your ex is not just about recognizing the signs, but also about deeply understanding the psychology of both sides. and using personal growth to rebuild the relationship sustainably. Whether your ex expresses confusion, anger, stalks you on social media, wants to see you, or offers friendship, each sign is an opportunity for you to assert your worth. The most important thing to remember is that a relationship is not just built on impulsive emotions, but also on harmony and deep connection. Take advantage of the time apart to invest in yourself, boost your confidence, and build an independent and positive life. When you become the best version of yourself, you not only become more attractive in the eyes of your ex, but also create a strong foundation for any relationship in the future. Let them realize for themselves that you are no longer the emotionally dependent person you once were, but have become an independent, mature individual who values themselves. It is this change that will make them realize the value they once lost. However, if they do come back, make sure that both of you are ready to build a new relationship, stronger, more sincere, and full of understanding. Finally, remember that not every relationship can or should be rekindled. Sometimes the biggest sign you can recognize is that your self-worth should not be compromised for any relationship. If they are not sincere enough to come back, trust that this journey has helped you grow and open the door to better things in the future. Love is not just a journey to find someone who has left, but also an opportunity for you to discover yourself and learn to love yourself. Move forward strong and confident because you deserve a beautiful and healthy love.